As always, we got Gunny Matheson, Joe Schmidt, and our special guest today.
All right.
Take.
Okay, we ready? Good to go? Okay, here we go. Episode 101. No, episode 101.
101's good.
101, like that better?
Yeah.
Okay,
101 episodes with Van Luse.
okay. Episode 101, Van Luse.
We're back with another episode of the show. No?
Yeah, right?
All right.
All right.
Yeah. All right, we're back with another episode of the show. As always, we got Gunny Matheson, Joe Schmidt, and our special guest tonight, Van Luse.
Yeah. Welcome, Van.
Yeah. Co-owner with his wife, Kathy, of Loose Horses. Love that slogan. Love it. You still use that?
Still use it some. Yeah.
First time I saw that in an ad, I thought, oh, that's good right there.
Yeah. Loose horses.
Who came up with it?
Somebody came up. We didn't come up with it. Someone said that's what you need to do. And I don't remember. That was 25, 30 years ago. So.
And then you went with it.
Yeah, we rolled with it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see it until about 10 years ago. So I was a little late. I was a little late to that party.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fresh off of, where'd you come from last?
I was just stewarding at Waco at the Brazos slide. We've been to Frankfort, Kentucky. We judged a show named after Kathy's dad, in honor of Kathy's dad. They gave a little spiel about him when they handed out a youth trophy that they present every year. And then prior to that, we were in, not at the Summer Slide in Colorado. We judged it. So pardon the bags under our eyes right now. We've not been home all month. So.
Yep. So, so anybody that doesn't know, probably the one of a couple of great, like to me, makes a huge difference who is working those shows. And you're one of 2 or 3 guys that we have that are exceptional.
I appreciate that. You know, when I was asked to come on this show, I'd watched it. I've seen Ken Eppers here. I've seen Sam Smith. I saw Matt Gaines. I saw Todd Bergen. I thought, my God, I'm not even in this league of guys. And then I saw you had Jared LeClaire on it, and I thought,
Yeah.
This season now.
I'm good. Yes, out of here. Nailed it.
So
Nailed it.
oh, yeah, I'm cool now.
Yeah. No, yeah. You're more than qualified. Overqualified, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. So what's your I don't know a lot about your history. How'd you get into the horses?
At first, my dad had some halter and pleasure horses. I did a little bit of halter, a little bit of pleasure, not much. Then I team roped a little bit. This would have been late 80s. I always wanted to know how you got a horse more trained.
And you grew up in Ohio?
In Ohio.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So I traded a team roper for a 3-year-old kind of Calbred, reining bred horse. Trained a little bit myself, traded it, got a different one. And I showed my first reiner in 1989. At a quarter horse show in Ohio. There was 5 in it. It was probably Clark Bradley, Rusty Dare, myself, someone else, and Sam Smith. First time I ever showed a rein horse. Sam Smith spun too many times, and I got 4th out of 5. I beat Sam Smith. That was like I won the world right there.
Yeah, it is a good start. That's awesome. It's a good
So, yeah. So, moving forward then, I showed at a quarter horse show. It was the very last quarter horse show that Kathy's dad judged. He got called in because the real judge got sick.
Clayton Woosley.
Yeah, Clayton Woosley. And the very next weekend I saw him at a show, and he said, hey, will you start some 2-year-olds for me? So I started some 2-year-olds for him and Kathy. And then
you started dating the boss's daughter?
Yeah, that happened in the
risky.
process of that.
Doggy, risky. You
Yeah.
made it out. You got any cuts on your neck or bullet holes?
No. Then I was starting a lot of 2-year-olds for people. We had a lot of great reining horse trainers in Ohio at the time. Lots of world champions, third champions. Sid Griffith, she started sending me 2-year-olds. And then I got word that Bill Horn was looking for somebody to start 2-year-olds. I didn't live that far away. I would go over there in the mornings and ride his 2-year-olds and then come home and run my business.
Yeah. It seems like everybody that grew up in Ohio, at one point they funneled through Bill Horn, huh?
Yeah, it seemed like that's how you had to do it back
Yeah.
then. I would come to the fraternity and see all this young talent, and I'd be like, I don't know how they did that. I never knew that they'd work for Bill Horn. And it's like you guys had a whole different thing going on in your neck of the woods, and throughout the whole country.
We just watched the video of it.
Yeah, we did.
The McCutcheon family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it all started rolling. And then Kathy, she had extra horses to show. She let me show some. She really taught me how to polish myself, show horse. And it happened pretty quick, really. I got in with a lot of really good people. There was a lot of really good people in Ohio that I rode with. They all, I think they all liked me. They all respected Clayton. And, I'd go ride, get help from Mike Florida. I'd get help from Sam and Kelly. My late friend, Mal McGuire, helped me a lot. Rick Weaver.
Yeah. Rick was,
It's cool.
yeah. So I'll tell a quick Rick story.
Yeah.
First time I ever went to the reining fraternity, it was still in Ohio. And I showed in the non-pro class. And I probably sucked. I can't remember exactly, but I probably wasn't very good. And I remember walking in there and sitting up in the stands, and Rick made a point to say, "Hey, man, your horse looked good. You did a good job." And for somebody that didn't know anybody, and Rick was, he was one of the boys right at that point in time,
Absolutely.
and it was really nice. It was nice that, and it was. For somebody like me that had never been there and done that, it felt pretty great.
Excuse me for interrupting, but I find so much irony in that, because I'm willing to bet you've never done that to anybody else.
No, but
Like you didn't learn that lesson, right?
No,
Like,
I didn't.
He
didn't
built your
really.
confidence, but you never watched the youth class and went, "Hey, kid, come here,
Doing a good job.
good job."
You guys, I think you're being hard on me. I think I probably did at some point.
At one
I
time.
can't-
I'll bet
okay.
at least once.
I can't remember exactly when or where, but
He probably has, and now that I've brought it up, he probably will.
That's your goal. Next horse show.
Gun,
Find
look,
a young
Gun,
person.
I'm doing
maybe,
it.
Maybe
Huh?
not.
This
Yeah.
kid was good.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Good job, kid.
yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a different time then, because there was only so many guys. If you wanted to work for somebody when I don't know how old you are, but I feel like you and I are kind of in the same era. But if you wanted to go work for somebody, there was Loomis, Tim McQuay, BH, Bob Avila. There wasn't a lot.
No, it wasn't that. Well, there
There was
wasn't-
more than that, but those jobs were probably very sought after.
when they weren't that giant of outfits either. So like I got to go to like the Congress fraternity and stuff on a lot of guys' third, fourth stringers, because they didn't keep the help.
Right.
They called them and said, I think send this thing to Van. I think he could win money in the limited open part of the fraternity on it.
Right.
That was back when we only had 2 and 3 divisions of that.
Yeah.
So I got experience showing 3-year-olds through a lot of those guys. Sean sent me 3-year-olds. Mike sent me 3-year-olds. Stuff like that. So
Yeah, and definitely different. And I didn't even think about that. You had, Mike probably before Sean, right? Was probably the next guy after BH in Ohio, as far as who was going down the road. Because Mike won the fraternity. I can't remember what year he won the fraternity.
93 was his first year on
Okay.
Custom Chrome. 96 on Wizard Jack.
Okay.
But he was also a multiple world champion before that. And that's back. Not that world champions aren't important now. I don't mean that. But that was a pretty special award back then.
It was a different deal. I mean, it was people, there was a lot of people. I remember Tim chasing world championships. There's a lot of guys that did. And probably nobody won more world championships maybe than Rocky, right?
Rocky or
It seemed like every year.
yeah. And then there was guys that specifically coached people for that. Charlie Smith, Dutch Chapman. I mean, that was their living.
Yeah.
Helping those people do that. And that, it would take a whole the Reiner magazine, there would be one whole magazine just dedicated to world champions back then.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty big deal. So you walk around with a world champion belt buckle on, or you walk around with a fraternity champion belt buckle on, that really meant something back then.
Yeah. No, and
Still does today. I don't mean that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. But I know what you're saying. I mean,
It's
100.
just
I know what you're saying. It's just different because that was more of a deal because there wasn't so many other things to do. Tim and I were talking this morning, talking about how much we're on the road now. He said, when he was rolling and going, there was 10 horse shows a year to go to.
Yep.
Now we can go to 10 horse shows in 3 months.
Yes.
I mean, it's
and big deals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the horse show used to last 5 days. Now we're there for 2 weeks. It's just a different deal.
There's enough big money open reignings that a world champion could technically come from the United States. There just so happens to be so many more bigger reignings that people don't use their horse for it anymore.
Yeah.
Like they use it for the Run for the Million, the NRBC, the Derby, 100X, whatever. They won't go. But there's enough opens here that would for sure pay the amount of money to produce a world champion.
Yeah.
Cade could have been there. He kind of quit on it a little bit last year. Kind of gave up a little bit, like he was going to be the first one in 25 years. He kind of went, my horse is sore. Maybe he just got sore.
What happened? You want to stick up for yourself?
Being pretty harsh on
I think he is sticking up for himself off camera.
man. Kind of
I'm
harsh.
kind of being mean this episode, huh?
Yeah.
You've over the last 60 episodes, you've trained me. I've got my claws out a little bit.
Went off on a
Sorry.
tangent and started going after Cade. Jesus.
Sorry, Cade.
Yeah, no, it's just like the American had, guys are trying to decide what horse that top tier group of guys are trying to decide, okay, well, because a lot of them are qualified for the American and the Million. What horse am I going to use? I want to save my Million horse, use a different horse for the American. American paid $100,000. And there was a time, I remember the first $10,000 added reining that we had in the U.S. It was all like, man, can you imagine that we are running at 10,000 added? And now there's a reining that pays 100, and we're saying, I'm going to save those horses for the big
For
one.
the bigger deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of that's changed. Well, so much has changed. I mean, this was a blue collar sport. These were horses that were too fast to be pleasure horses when it all got started, and then it most certainly evolved in my time period. The horsepower, the training methods, unbelievable. What I'm about to say, I don't want anybody to think this is ungrateful from me at all, because it's not. Reining's been our life, but we came through a time where there was the Rick Weavers and those are the Brad Kelsalls, the guys that had the better horses, and they were kind of starting to move up the chain, and then we thought, and the Sam Smiths, we're going to slide in there next. We're going to be in that spot next. And then something happened, and your brother, Scott, I remember this too. They changed the earnings, and then those guys got back to limited open. Boom, there goes our shot. Now we're back to beating heads with those guys who had the better horses and knew more about how to train a horse. So then they climbed the ladder. They got themselves out of that. They were open riders. And then we talked bad about Jared a little bit ago, but the Jareds and the Gunnys, they come in and they took our spot because they didn't know the side of training that we knew. They only knew the good side of training, the better horses, the softer horse. So a lot of guys our age, you're not included. You stayed very current with all that, but a lot of guys my age or our age, they kind of fizzled out of the training part a little bit because they got passed up by a younger crew that came in with a lot more knowledge about training a softer horse. When I can remember taking a 3-year-old over to BH's place, and I had the thing soft, and I couldn't change a lead on it. So he got on it one day and was pulling around on it, and he just pulled on the rein, and the horse went like that. And man, I got chewed out for that. You never bend them around to your knee. Never. You can't do it when you're showing. Why do it there? So just a different time.
Yeah. 100%. It's changed so much. And I think a lot of the horses that we had then would not have tolerated today's training methods, but today's training methods you have to use.
Correct.
And you have to, and the horses are bred to be able to accept that and to compete at the level, at the high level that those horses are running at today. You have to go forward all the time. And it seems like you go forward 5%. Every year you go forward 5%. But if you don't, you're not getting ahead of anybody. You're keeping up, and that's it. That just
absolutely,
it's not. It is so much more competitive now.
And what I did say a little bit ago, none of that was meant to be ungrateful or anything. When we had our time in the limelight, it was just kind of short lived for that. There was
you were a reserve fraternity champion,
third place, and I won. This was back when it was 3 divisions: limited open, intermediate open. I won the limited open. I won the intermediate open. Was third in the open finals.
Yeah, was that Denny's prescription?
Denny's prescription, and that was a whole different style too. I mean, she was kind of the end of that era. I think your father-in-law came along a few years later on that Shining Spark mare. She was more of her style.
Yep.
And you don't see a lot of that style anymore. Well, Brian Bell proved me wrong there a couple years ago. And that's good. Yeah. That's good. But it is a whole different ball game. Those horses are asked to do stuff. They don't tighten up one bit. They just do it.
Right. Yeah. No doubt about it. I think today's horse, and it has to be this way. I'm not holding any grudges against anybody. The horses have to be able to be more forgiving now, because you have to go so far to be able to mark the big scores that you have to mark now and have them do those maneuvers. We used to sit in the stands at night and watch people school or be in there schooling, and you'd see 1 or 2 special horses at the horse show.
You just took the words out of my mouth. You'd be like, oh my gosh, look at what so-and-so has. He's going to have to fall off to lose this thing. And there'd be one other person, and you'd be like, man, how'd they find a horse like that? That's so cool.
Yep.
And everyone else was running around with their heads straight up in the air, trying to figure out how they're going to get shown tomorrow.
Yeah. How are we going to get through it one-handed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's true. And now you don't even see that side of it. You only see the brown balls.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's horse after horse after horse. You're sitting there watching the fencing, and it's +1, +1, +1, +1.
Yeah.
Now, the maneuvers are so good by so many people anymore. Now it's about, and I don't know if you guys all agree with me, but now it's just about who can train them to go from maneuver to maneuver to maneuver and make all the stuff in between work, because most of them in the practice pen can do all the maneuvers really big.
I see it. I just saw it over the weekend. I was like, my gosh, I was watching the 3-year-olds warm up. And I was thinking, my gosh, now they go in there and they make mistakes. That's going to happen. They're babies, whatever. You didn't anticipate this or that. But out back there, you're like, there's no weak ones.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Whenever I started going to the judges' school, it was very intimidating to listen to people talk about the maneuver evaluation tape, because you would see one run and stop, and that room could shred it apart. Well, it wasn't this and wasn't that. God dang, I can't do that. That's pretty good. What are they talking about? And the horses have gotten so good that they've made the judging try to keep up with that. Well, man, it's scary when you see them horses in that judges room do +1 shit and people are saying +1/2 or I think it is anyway. So it makes you not want to train horses anymore, just judge more.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We're all Gunny, you can train one as good as anybody, and your horses looked really good last year. You
Cut.
win.
Cut.
Oh, he's saying the nice thing.
Cut.
This is the thing. He's checking it off his list. He's being nice.
This is the little boy.
Yeah, this is the kid. This is the kid. He's gonna boost his confidence. Son, come here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. Okay,
Yeah.
you can finish.
Keep
that.
going.
I had to take a minute for myself there.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep
He's
going.
going to toss his jersey.
This is where I was going to say the same thing. I'm going to throw the jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go,
You
kid.
want a Pepsi? We're ranch fuel? You want a ranch
Ranch
fuel?
fuel. Throw him a ranch fuel.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. No. So how long have you been stewarding?
Stewarding since about 2019. I got my judge's card in 2017. Back in 2008, 2009, the economy went to pot. We had a long-term client. It was a client that was Kathy's dad's. Kathy's father rode for this lady. She aged out of the business. She gifted us a bunch of horses, but we went from having a whole bunch in training to having to pay board on a whole bunch. And you couldn't give a horse away, like literally in 2009, couldn't give a horse away. You guys remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I took a job on the weekends at night, in the middle of the night at the casino as a security officer.
Nice.
I'd never done anything like that in my life, okay? I learned a lot about conflict resolution. I learned about writing reports and all this and that. So anyways, now fast forward, I thought it's nothing I'll ever use again the whole rest of my life. I'm at the judges' school, and I remember telling Ann Salmon, hey, one of these days I'm going to take the steward's class and become a steward. And she said, oh, we'd love to have you, blah, blah, blah. So then we take our judge's test, okay? We go upstairs in the office there, take our test. As I'm walking down the steps, Hoot Brinker's standing at the bottom of the steps and says, I need to talk to you. And I thought, my God, I just turned my test in a minute and a half ago and they already know I failed. He said, Ann says you want to be on the, maybe be a steward. I said, yeah, I'm not going to do it today. I'll stay today. She said she'd take you home. You can have Kathy go home and then Ann will drive you, take you to your house tonight when you're done. So they talked about, putting out fires with people, conflict resolution, talked about writing reports, blah, 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 blah. And then on the way home, I told Ann, I said, well, I've been trained in all that stuff. They used to put us in a room, 2 guys at a time. The instructors would come in there, a mock-up fight. They'd pull a plastic gun on you, a plastic knife. They'd put you in situations where you couldn't win and see how you handled it. Ann was like, my God, we need you on the committee.
That's what happens at the horse show.
Yeah,
Pulling
exactly.
guns and knives.
All those
So-
Brazilians.
Yeah. So
Jeez.
so
I like the
a
Brazilians.
week later, I'm on the stewards committee. And then Ann says, hey, we're teaching a class. I want you to come teach this thing just to help me teach it, okay? So, all right. So I drive up to Oklahoma City, and Ann says, hey, during part of that class, she was like, I'm talking like 10 minutes. I have a meeting. You'll have to take over the class. You don't have a problem with that. No, I'm okay. From the opening of the meeting of the class, Ann was like, I got to step out now. I'll be right back. I didn't see Ann for 2 more hours. I taught the whole class. I had just become a steward myself. There was questions on the board that said, how would you handle this? A, B, or C? And I thought, I don't know the answers to any of this stuff. And I'm the teacher here. And I looked at stewards that I knew had stewarded shows and I'd be like, how would you answer that? And they would say, answer B. And I'd be like, that is correct. What she just said, answer B is the most correct one. Everybody understand that, right? And I was like, oh my God, I saw her. Ann came back in. Sorry, Van, the meeting took way longer than I thought. And I was like, oh my God, I was ready to have a heart attack. But anyways, it all worked out.
Good thing somebody knew what was going on, right?
That's great.
That is good stuff. So going back to the, did you ever have a gun pulled on you? I mean, not at a horse show, at the casino.
No, just a plastic one. No, it stayed pretty good. We kicked a few drunk people out or whatever. But
You had more people mad at you at the horse show or the casino?
horse show.
The horse show last week, probably.
Yeah.
A few mad over some cones there, but yeah.
Yeah, the cone situations.
Several, but yes.
Yeah.
Jason Van Landing?
Yeah.
No.
Mm.
We like to throw Jason under the bus every time we get a chance.
My
for fun.
my favorite thing to do to the stewards, and I do it all the time to Walt, is when Walt's shift is up and the new steward's walking up, we'll be riding around and say, guys, it's time to circle. I'll scream as loud as I can. Walt said it was okay for us to do whatever we wanted.
That's good.
I do enjoy doing that. It's fun for me.
But, I've seen a evolution of the practice pen to me has really evolved over the last 10 years. I mean, it is gotten so much better of etiquette, how people are riding their horses, how people are treating their horses.
Well, that's because you fixed Todd Summers that one day.
I think the industry has changed as far as, animal welfare. There's spa trailers at the show. There's, everybody's taken. They're not your $2,500 scrub out pleasure horse anymore. There's such high quality animals that they're actually an investment anymore.
That's so true. And I think back in, there was a time where it was kind of a badge of honor to be the rebel out there, the one that created all the conflict and stuff. And now no one wants a black eye on that. Our job, I think, is to help keep the public perception high.
Right.
And when it drops to a certain level, then we'll step in and try to get it back up to that high spot again. So
right. And I think we've done, as an industry, I think we've done a great job at it.
I think we've done a phenomenal job of it. And I see a huge difference in the short time that I've been a steward. And I think you guys appreciate the rules because flat out, now we're going to spin or stop. Now we're going to circle. And you guys appreciate that because you set your schedule up for that, when to get up, when to have the grooms, have the horses ready and stuff like that.
Makes all the difference in the world. I remember the first time I ever went to the Congress, we're all fencing and circling in that little bitty arena, not the one we show in now.
The old Coliseum.
That's
the size of a round
with a tractor in it.
Yeah.
We're all doing it at the same time. I don't know how somebody didn't die.
Yeah, it was bad. And we have a lot of people now that are showing that don't have the experience maybe to be in that type of crowd if it was out of control.
Me?
Yeah, me either.
I mean, it is. I don't have the experience to ride my own damn arena. I was cussing everybody this morning. We got, we had 15, 18 people riding around in there today. And I think I need to have a blowhorn to make sure everybody knows when I want to do something.
Yeah.
Stay out of the way.
Yeah, Tom started off kind of hot this morning.
Really?
Yeah, there was too many people in the arena.
No one got a jersey tossed.
No,
that's rough.
You should get Tom an orange or yellow shirt that says Tom's Arena on it.
Yeah.
Stay out of the way.
Let's be clear about when Tom gets on the phone. What happens then? When he just walks his horse into you.
Yeah. No, that happens. You walk directly into something. Well, we were doing a video the other day.
It's my arena. You got to get out of the way.
You're just walking around.
Sounds like you need a steward at the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably do.
Yeah.
I'll send my resume in the morning.
What about,
Yeah.
I mean, would a steward know if it's better practicing doing 30-minute or hour? I mean, that's an age-old argument.
We've talked to the exhibitors, and some have thought that was a good idea. We kind of go by what show management tells us to do. We don't just usually dream these rules up. When you do see me put the cones out, someone has told me to do that.
You do that. Yeah.
I'm the one that gets the blame, but
okay, wait a minute. Let's come back to this. But tell me about. I wasn't there for the cones. What happened?
Oh,
well, Waco, the back arena in Waco, it was very chaotic one evening. And so Stilo thought it would be a good idea to kind of do what they do at the fraternity where they cut that one off. And a few people did not like that being cut off.
Cut it off like
At the end.
Where-
75-25 or 70-30.
Yeah.
They cut one
gotcha.
in the
Yeah.
arena.
And then we kept it scheduled because there was people showing in both arenas. Well, you can't just have the whole thing scheduled, or you'd have to get up 2 hours or be out there 2 hours early before you ran your horse, and it's 100 degrees out, so that wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
So they made it so there was still a little place to mill around, circle,
Gotcha.
trot around while everyone was fencing, or for a half hour we'd circle. Some people wanted to hug me for this, and some people wanted to cuss me out for this.
Yeah.
So I had it all.
Yeah, you got both. You get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And right when he put the cones out, I come flying through there.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Ran
Yeah.
right past the cones into the circling area.
I had to
and
tell a couple of them that pretend
everybody
this is
yelled
a
at me.
fence right here. This is a wall.
Yeah.
And you have
I
to-
didn't get the memo right at the
And you
beginning.
got to be politically correct. You can't cuss back at anybody or
No,
No.
no.
But y'all did go, Joe, what
Yeah.
the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that every day.
Yeah, it was my bad.
I forgot about that, but yeah, we did.
Okay, now going
Yeah.
back to the half hour versus hour, if you want my opinion. If anybody wants my opinion on this, hour is the deal because it is too hard. If you here's how it plays out for me. If it's half hour, you got everybody trying to get done with their circling and it's chaotic for the first 20 minutes. Maybe you can get circled a little bit the last 10, but then you're out of horse when it's time to run and stop. To me, it's a mess. If it's an hour, you can take 2 horses. You can take your time. Usually the second half of the stopping is pretty wide open. And now there's 3 sections. When we go to a major,
Every
there's
20
3,
minutes.
yeah, every
Yes.
20 minutes they're
Mhm.
dragging. And to me, half hour is good if you're at a small show that's not that important and you really want to go to dinner. That's where it's good.
Yeah.
If you're at a big show and you want to get your horses ready, I think hour is
I agree
better.
with that too. And
Yeah.
you are correct. If you, well, I shouldn't say this out loud. If you're in that first 10 or 20 minutes of fencing, it's pure chaos.
Pure chaos.
Might as well sit on your phone and look at Facebook for 20 minutes. Then you're going to have the arena to yourself practically
Yeah.
fencing.
Yeah, the last group. And I think sometimes people
Sometimes
are
it's not.
scared that last group. Well, I can't wait to the last one because if it doesn't work, then I'm out of time. What am I going to do? And
Right. For
Yeah.
sure.
yeah, no, I get that. But I usually wait to the last group just because sometimes there's 3 or 4 of us and that's it. So it's good. Speaking of, okay, we're going into all of this. Another one of my pet peeves. I wish we could have, I don't know how we could do it if we had somebody sitting in the stands, like in maybe even a judge's chair with a paintball gun. It'd be phenomenal because it drives me fucking crazy when we're all working and circling and we're 10 minutes into circling, 15 minutes into circling, and somebody just walks in and everybody feels like they have to walk to the center of the arena and stop.
Todd
And
Summers.
Todd Summers and Brian Bell. And and it drives me crazy because it makes no difference to your horse if you do that. But and all of a sudden you see everybody. You've done it. We've all done it enough. You see everybody up there, they're pulling up and running into the back. It's like, what in the hell are
Right.
you
And
doing?
the person standing there has no
No
clue
clue.
that
None.
crowd's in a traffic
No.
jam or
No
that
clue.
everybody's pissed off. They're just, oh, yeah, hey.
Because they're going to work on that lead departure right there in the center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Because that's where they got to do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's right.
That stuff, or the slow lopers on the outside. I mean,
Yeah.
if you had a paintball gun, it would solve a lot of
I'll
problems.
bring that up with the stewards committee about
That would be
paintball.
great.
Paintball.
and I would volunteer to be the sniper in the Coliseum.
yeah.
I will sponsor. I'll sponsor the paintball.
I saw McCutcheon on the top of the pipe.
I could see at the winter meetings. Oh, you guys, next topic, we got a recommendation letter from Tom McCutcheon to provide Stewart with paintball guns.
That's right. Everybody's got bruises on the
He
side
put
of
in
their head.
quotations, stupid people. I don't know what he means by this.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like you might just paint a couple of people just for.
Yeah. Well, you got to aim. You got to work on your
Yeah.
aim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ghillie
I
suit.
think it's a great idea.
Yeah. That and to a lesser degree when you're fencing the guys that go around the end. Okay, if there's 5 of you in there, no
Yeah.
big deal. But when
Right.
everybody's trying to fence, that person that feels like they don't have to get in, anybody a turn, they go down and around the corner. Like I'm just getting ready to lope off and somebody comes around. I'm like, what are you doing? You know?
Or the I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to do a little circle and pull their head around.
Yeah.
and
100%.
take up a 5-horse lane of training my horse there when everyone's wanting to get going.
You should get 1 second for every 4 feet your horse slides.
There you go.
If he slides 20 feet, you can stand there 5 seconds and then walk away.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
You know,
Drives me
the
freaking
other
crazy.
thing that drives me nuts, but it happens more in the show pen, is when, like at the fraternity, well, it's not going to be at the fraternity anymore, but we have a more narrow arena and people run to their last stop and do 2 turns right before they leave. Stop, back up, maybe turn them around to the inside or outside, whatever.
You don't like that?
It drives me nuts. They're ruining the ground where you have to go run and stop. Just get the hell out of the way.
I never thought about it, but you're not wrong.
They're so
No,
using
no.
up the ground.
I do a rollback. I don't do 2 turns. I don't think.
Especially
I don't think I've done
if
that.
you're-
I hadn't thought of that
If
either.
you're early in the drag, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to trash this ground for the people after me. I'm going to run and do my 2 stops. I'm going to do some turning right here,
Yeah.
too.
I never thought of that. I actually never really see anybody do that, but that's not a
Yeah,
bad
not 2
point.
full turns.
Now that I've said it, you'll notice a ton of people don't do it.
Yeah.
They back up and go, and
Yeah.
then leave.
That was a nice contribution, Gunny.
Yeah.
I never
Welcome.
thought of that
Thanks.
before.
Yeah.
It's really
Another
good.
jersey. Another jersey.
That's what I
Coming
needed,
tomorrow.
is one more thing to bother me.
Yeah.
No,
Another reason
that is that. If you could put I think if you could figure it out with all this age of technology, if you could put like a
AI robot.
some kind of a big projection thing on the ceiling where it put down on the ground. Okay, this is a blue zone or a red zone. I don't know what color it would be where you go fast.
We have it. There is
Yeah,
one.
there's a box.
It used to come in your packet at the fraternity every year.
I know, but I'm thinking like it shows
light.
shines down
Oh,
from the
gotcha.
ceiling.
Yep.
And if you're in, because I can think of like Matt Palmer lopes around so slow in
Oh,
the
no,
outside lane the whole time. I like Matt. Matt's a friend of mine. He used to work for me. I like Matt. I have no problem with Matt whatsoever. And I very, very politely said, Matt, could you get the fuck out?
People fast out here.
So you're saying like a super,
politely. He said
Yeah.
it was politely was his.
but you're saying like superimposed light, like lasers on the
Yes.
ground
Yes.
showing
Yes.
where to go. Like this is fast lane,
Yes.
middle lane,
Yes.
spinning area.
If you're gonna walk, you're in here. If you're gonna
Yeah.
trot, you're
Yeah.
in here. If you're gonna go fast, you're here. That way, the guy with the paint gun clearly knows.
He's crossed the
Yes.
line.
Yes,
Fire.
if you can
He,
see,
he
yes.
is in the green light zone
Yes.
doing red light speed.
Yeah.
He's getting lit up.
Yes.
that light coming down. If you can see a little bit of the fast circle and he's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
slow halfway on his hat, you just pow,
Yeah.
send it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Send it.
send it.
Yes. We have Todd Summers in the red zone.
Yeah.
Fire. Fire. Take him out.
If you had yellow paintballs, Todd would come out there looking yellow.
I feel like a few of them people you just shoot no matter where they.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Sorry, I can't help it.
Yeah, you were
Hey.
close. You were close to the line.
And to be clear, we don't talk about anybody we don't like. If we brought up your name, it's because we like you.
Yeah. Yeah, but go a little faster.
Yeah. But get the hell out of the way.
That's a good one. I would like to talk a little bit about the judging stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Do it.
That's-
Go for
Well,
that's
along
possible.
with being an accomplished horse trainer, you're one of the top tier AAA judges.
I
Huh?
appreciate that.
So-
One thing that I notice a lot is pattern placement or lack thereof pattern placement.
Did you invite him? Scroll camera right to K. McCutcheon.
I didn't. We're not. If we like you, we mention your name, right?
Yeah, right. We can use you in
Well,
example.
we're just gonna get him a new hat that says "Mr. Miss the Middle."
But I'd like to show what good pattern placement looks like,
Do it.
and then I'd like to show what we see sometimes.
Yeah, what happened?
And
Sometimes.
Just a few things that I guarantee you can improve your score.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. And this is old Charlie Smith stuff here. 25 years ago, Charlie Smith, running for those world titles, he'd lay over at our house. And, he'd help me unload hay. He'd help us ride. And then he'd say on Thursday, he'd say, call all your people, tell them to be here at 3:00 tomorrow. I'll give everybody a free lesson. And so all of our people got grinded on by Charlie. But big thing is the circle layout. And is that good? Okay.
You want
So-
Joe to hold that for you? Then you
He's
can-
good at.
So
holding
there's
it.
the center. This is the center line. We're looking over the top. Obviously it's going to be invisible when we're showing, but it's extremely important. It's between these two cones. Okay. So center line. Boom. Boom. And sorry, my artwork is not great.
Yeah, that's a -half.
Yeah. We'll try to make it better. And most arenas we go to, you don't want to go to the back wall.
Right.
Most arenas. The Coliseum the old Coliseum at Oklahoma City, you had to. Most of them you don't want to, and people do. But a circle, a good reining circle, looks more footballish than donut. Okay? You guys do it. You may not be able to say that you do it that way, but that's how you do it. So this is what you should be practicing. What we see a lot of is this right here.
So loping off, you're saying the lope off, you go straight left instead of loping forward and around.
Yep. And it's hard to get a correct score, a 0, when you cut that corner off, because you filled this part out, but you cut that off. And I see that so much.
So go
That's
back.
loping out of the center or to the
or
center.
your second large fast. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's go one step further, because most patterns we walk in, we turn, and then lope off. How much of a walk are you okay with?
I'm okay with you walking and setting your horse up to ensure that you're going to pick up the correct lead. I just was at a show a few weeks back, and the scribe was showing there, and she said something like, and you want us loping off from the center. I said, that doesn't matter. Set your horse up.
Right.
Give me your income. I'll go to Vegas. If you're over that okay with the gamble.
Right.
Set yourself up. You look like you're a good horseman then. You've
Right.
got good showmanship
Right.
skills then.
Right.
There's nothing that says you have to lope right off from the center. I say that a horse can tighten up over two things, okay? The first thing is when you tell it to do something, you always run into that danger that the horse may tighten up. You guys spend hours trying to teach them not to tighten up when you ask them to do something, but there's potential that they will tighten up when you do something. That's going to get you in trouble. The other reason that a horse may tighten up is because they don't know where you want them to go, okay? If they know where you want them to go, they probably aren't going to tighten up.
So three strides you're okay with.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Set yourself up. Guarantee yourself that correct lead. It's a lot better than a 1-point penalty, right? Yeah, or 3-point. Another thing, when you cut this corner off,
What did I tell you?
when you lope off and cut that corner off, there's a very good chance, due to the law of geometry, you get pushed into that corner right there. Then you end up doing a straight line down this fence, then you're struggling to get
Yeah, a
to
lot
the
of people
center.
do go too deep in some corners and can't hit the middle.
Yep. I always told my people, there's a very creepy guy in that corner right there, and he's going to tell you how pretty you are, and he's going to buy you drinks, and then you're going to end up in his basement rubbing lotion all over your body.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
man.
That's a lot.
Joe had that happen to him in China.
Yeah.
No, that didn't.
Yeah.
We were just worried it was going to.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
What's
there's
that?
truly
Jesus
non-pros that know
Christ.
that.
There's that guy in the
That's
corner
scary,
that's
man.
going to say, "You look."
But
so
also,
nice."
your small slow is the same thing.
There is a lot of people
A
that
smaller football. Then you have a little flat spot here, you can let go of them. You have a little flat spot right here, you can let go of them. And you just have to get yourself through that turn and that turn. When you think that you need to make a donut, the perfect circle, which that's not going to be, but let's pretend it is, then you're in a constant turning motion with your horse. It's a constant turn. And what did I say? 2 things that can cause a horse to tighten up. When you ask them to do something, so in a constant circle, you're constantly asking them, or they don't know where they're going. And if you practice that football type circle, man, them horses, I see the difference between people showing them that way or trying to make that donut circle. I also see a huge difference between someone telling them where to go in those small slows. And, the trainer's on the back wall yelling, drop your hand, drop your hand, drop your hand. They drop their hand, and the horse now doesn't know where it's supposed to go. And they all hollow out a little bit, some way worse than others. And as soon as I've heard trainers say, point to where you want to go, I can just see those horses just relax and fall into a slot. Well, she would have come from that same, yeah, absolutely. And another, why we're doing this, but this will change. This will change your score, because when you cut those corners off, you did separate yourself from the rest of the exhibitors. You've now made me give you a -1/2.
Well, and there's so many little things that exhibitors can do to get the judge on their side, to get him thinking positive. And if you're making the judge guess at all, they're probably not going to be on your team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the everybody thinks, well, we got to go 500 mile an hour, and you don't. You have to have good pattern placement. Good pattern placement can easily get you a +1/2, especially in a green, rookie, ride and slide, limited non-pro, even non-pro, whatever, novice classes, name it.
So, but overall, probably the most important part of the whole scenario is hit the middle, right?
Well, I was just getting ready to say that. So many people do not hit the middle. So many people start off, they walk in on their horse, and they curve this, and they come here. Now their horse is facing there. And if they have to do a spin or they have to lope off to the left, their horse is going the wrong direction before they ever started. Or
You wouldn't believe how many people walk to
They
the
walk
center of the
in,
arena and are not in the center of
and
the
they're
arena.
here.
That's where
And this is their very first
that's where
maneuver.
most of them are. Yeah.
It's 14 foot off center right there.
Yeah.
Now I have no choice.
Yeah.
You just separated yourself again.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you turn a +1/2 in that situation and the judge is going the whole time, gosh, they're really off center. They're not really thinking about giving you that +1/2.
Yeah.
No. So Kathy and I have always told our people, walk in, hit the center line, do a military turn, boom, you're already staring at them from the get-go. You don't have to worry about it. But we see this cutoff here, I don't know, so much now. And it's like, and even open ride, I've had open riders come up to me after the show and, what do I got to do to make my circles better? I'm like, you're cutting off the first quarter of that circle. You're not going to get
It looks so good when they don't cut off the first quarter of that circle.
And they don't know they're doing
And
it.
when
It's
they
just
don't
they
cut off,
practiced it. It's a
like,
habit.
Not only the lope departure, but when they slow down and you do the small circle, if those horses fill that part of the circle out, it sets them apart.
Sets them apart. It totally sets them apart. But I see this a lot, and it's just a few things that I guarantee will help you get those zeros or possibly plus halves, and it's lacking. I don't know. And when you're coaching from the back gate, you don't see it.
Right.
A few years ago, I judged one of those pro-am classes up in Quebec, where the amateur, the non-pro rides at the first half of the pattern, and then they stop, and the trainer gets on it for the last half. So the trainer would come out and stand beside me. The non-pros was running the pattern, and I'm rattling off, minus half or plus half or penalty 1 or whatever. And there was 10 entries in it. In all 10 of the trainers, I could see their faces just drop like that. And I'd be like, you ever watch it like this before? And all 10 of them said, I had no idea it looked like this. None. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different point of view.
Yeah.
Definitely a different point of view.
Yeah, all you guys judge, and I think that's for sure a perspective that probably helps all of you when you walk in the show pen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think a big part of being successful showing reining horses, you're very good at it, even though you haven't judged, is by why try for a +1 if you know that you only have a plus half circling? Just get your half circling. Well, how do you do that? You make 3 nice circles. You go a little faster. You slow down. You be willfully guided. You don't.
Willingly.
Same thing.
Yeah.
No.
Same thing.
No.
Listen, we've already
Willingly
understood that you guys have an English language and I talk like me. So leave me alone.
Next month, we bring the English teacher in to help Gunny.
Yeah.
So
he does.
I got a
Yeah.
question,
Yes.
another question. So I don't know how much it's talked about anymore, but at one point, running to the stops was you could only be, I don't even remember what it was, 10 feet from the middle or 8 feet from the middle. I can't remember what the talk was, but I always felt like for somebody that says the end of a drag in the go around or the finals, doesn't matter, should be able to have the same opportunity to hit fresh ground as first.
I think as a whole, we understand when you're trying to get fresh ground, or we understand when you're getting drug to a bad place,
Right.
or you have bad pattern placement.
Right.
So so I think I just answered that. You can be a little bit. We know what you're doing.
And not
What are you
only
trying-
so,
But
not
that's
only that.
discussed.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's discussed, but it's in my head that way.
Okay, but the problem is you don't judge every reining I
No,
go
I
to.
don't.
And that's my concern. Is that talked about
It's
because
talked about.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
talked
Yeah.
about. Now, it's not only just crossing the middle. I think we should be able to get close to the wall too, because
Well,
it's hard to go
a
close to the
there's
wall.
somebody that's closer to the wall that looks like they're trying to get stopped, and then there's somebody that's getting drug close
Pulled
to the wall.
over
And we
there.
know
For sure.
the difference.
Right.
on
For
that.
sure.
So, but yeah, also, what I see a lot of too is they're not giving guidance to that horse, the green, the rookie person, the limited non-pro, whatever, and their trainer's yelling, drop your hand, drop your hand. Okay, well, you get on that horse and you drop your hand and you go show it, because this person, if it drops their hand, they're going to be at the 7-Eleven store
yeah,
on 3rd and high.
yeah.
Okay.
Sponsored by 7-Eleven.
But there is some guys in our industry that are phenomenal, and they drop their hand right in front of that saddle horn. We can agree on that. There's some very good horse trainers that drop their hand right in front of that saddle horn, like literally right in front, but they're so efficient with their feet to get around that arena. And so you got to ask yourself, am I that efficient with my feet to be that good? Or should I pick my hand up a little bit and tell that horse where to go? And if you're not that efficient with your feet, pick your hand up, tell it where to go. You're allowed to do that, by all means. That just looks like good horsemanship to me.
Yeah, I had that discussion last year at the ranch. There was a judge there. We were riding around and had that same discussion, like picking your hand up, slowing down. You're allowed to pick your hand up as long as they respond, right?
Absolutely. Pick your hand up. They slow down. They find that little gear. I didn't even know you picked your hand up because I was too busy watching those hind legs, see if you're going to come out lead anyways. But if I did notice your hand coming up and that horse respond to it, I think that's excellent horsemanship.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the guy that can do it with his hand down, maybe he's a notch better. Maybe not, depending on the situation.
Depending on how it works, right?
Depending on how it works, depending on the horse's skill set. But you can sure beat somebody's butt telling that horse where to go.
I feel like 25 years ago, reining horses used to run circles faster than they do now.
They ran circles tighter. And we did run faster, but they were tighter.
Yeah.
And now they're running, I bet they're running just as fast. They're just not tight.
Yeah. More relaxed and just chilling.
Yeah. A lot of rundowns, not with the big time horses. A lot of rundowns are lost, come out bad, because a lot of times the green, the rookie, the Limnow Pro, whatever, thinks that they're going faster than what they really are. And you can watch those hind legs start off fast and then they get slower, and then they have a bad stop. So a lot of times to me, it's just a matter of tightness that they're feeling and not necessarily the speed.
Going back to what Gunny was saying about we used to run faster, I think that's probably not wrong, but it was and I think it even appeared to be faster because it was an uncontrolled fast. It was just a yeehaw, let's go.
Yeah.
And the slowdown didn't work because the fast was out of control. Now you see some guys cooking around there, but everything is so framed up and so under control, and those horses are so trained to do it that when they get to the middle, they're ready to slow down because they're extremely comfortable at that speed going fast. Where it used to be, we didn't have practice that much.
Right.
You know, we'd
Because you
walk
make them hot.
Yeah, we'd walk in the show pen and we'd go as fast as we can. And it didn't, you look at some of those old videos on reining
Video
Horse
monthly.
Monthly, reining
Yeah.
Video Monthly.
Yeah, or history, Bart Corrington.
Yeah, 101.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look at some of those old videos and, you know, the horses, they ran fast, but they didn't slow down at all.
Yeah.
Right.
And now you got the whole package.
You got the whole package, and today's horses are running fast and they're breathing.
That's the difference. Because back then, I mean, they were just tight, like you were saying, holding their breath the whole time.
Yeah.
So I can remember when, everybody said that Brett Stone in 91,
92.
maybe 92, how bridled up that horse was. When we watch him now, maybe we don't think it was as bridled up as what we thought, or framed
right.
up. Okay, bridled up, framed up. No, not taking anything away from that. It was phenomenal for the time. It was the most talked about horse.
Changed the direction of the industry.
Started changing the direction of the industry. I went to the Super Stakes in 1993. Craig Johnson brought two horses there. He brought Lena's Gyrator there, and he brought Smart Chickalina there. He showed Lena's Gyrator in the Derby, which at the time, it was basically the NRBC. It was a
Stallion Stakes deal.
Stallion Stakes type of Derby. He brought Lena's Gyrator there, and man, it was just such a smooth run. He won the first go. He won the second go. Blew him all out of the water. He brought Smart Chickalina. I think they had a 3,000 added, big bronze trophy reining. Smart Chickalina, same thing. Boom, just so smooth.
Yeah.
And I mean, our jaws are dropped. Like, what would we just see? You know?
Yeah.
That was the first time that I saw it. I remember being back at Bill's house that night. We were all eating supper, and Bill was like, I don't know what those judges were looking at. He didn't even try to win that thing, you know?
Right.
And that was when it really evolved to me, or that's when I saw it the most. And then Bergen came in and totally changed things, and Avalon, those guys.
Yeah.
But
No,
they knew how to get the most out of those horses without them tightening up. And of course, you guys now have taken it to even even more of a refined level.
Yeah. And there was that evolution, just like you said, of BH going hard all the time.
Yeah.
But a little, in control for him.
He had that. He
But if
did
you
truly have that horse's spine under his
Yeah.
crotch the whole time.
Yeah. But if you look at it today, just not as tight and it wouldn't work today because
Not as refined.
not as refined. And then you got Craig, who refined it, but it wasn't hard enough to compete today. Now you got the whole thing together. Now you got guys going all of it. They're going hard, but yet it's tight and it's clean and it's refined and the horsepower and the knowledge, the level of knowledge. There used to be 5 guys. There used to be 5 guys that at the futurity, if they didn't fall off their horse. I saw Craig Johnson run down on rope and shoot, and his horse pretty much stuck his head over the end gate when he had to roll back after his second stop and went back, and he still made the finals. Those days are gone. I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are. You have a bobble or two, and you're probably not going to make the finals.
Yeah. I can remember Randy Fowler back in the early 90s said, you plus half every maneuver and you can afford a 0 on one maneuver, you're going to make the finals. And I don't think that's the case now.
Yeah.
But that's what it was.
For sure not in the derbies.
Yeah.
Futurity maybe.
Futurity, if you plus half everything,
you're solid.
You're solid.
Yeah.
You might be at the bottom half, but you're solid.
But in those days, if you go back and look at the scores, if you said to yourself, I'm going to go to the futurity, and I'm talking late 80s, 90s, if you marked a 16 in the first go around, a 16 in the second go around, 16 in the finals, you're probably going to be in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
You do that today, you're not going to be in the top 10 of the level 2.
No.
I mean, it's just a different game. And there's so many guys, now we've got the influx of the Europeans and the Brazilians and I was riding
and the
around.
Canadians and the Ohioans.
Yeah. I was riding around at a horse show.
Yeah. People from Laos. They're getting into it.
Gotta say California.
Yeah, not too long ago. And I mean, I was the only American in the arena.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not
it's-
uncommon now,
yeah.
for sure. And they're good horse trainers.
They're good horse trainers.
They're darn good horse trainers, and they darn sure know how to show a horse phenomenal too.
Yeah. That's what's changed.
That's
really
totally what's changed.
there's 75 guys now that go to the futurity that have the ability to make the final.
Absolutely. You know what I tell I've judged that futurity now several years in a row, and every year I tell myself, I wish I could go back in time and tell the younger Van Luse, Saturday afternoon's finals is fine.
Right.
That was the horse you brought to it. Why did you try to make Saturday night's
Right.
finals? Because you didn't make any when you did that day.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which I think we see that. That's not uncommon still today. I mean,
Right.
Especially with younger guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd love to
And
tell
you
my
can,
younger
yeah,
self
but
that.
you could still have told yourself that, man, you probably needed to go through it and fail
Yeah.
before you really believed it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So one more question on your diagram there.
Yes, sir.
Running and stopping. If somebody goes very deep the first stop, very deep the second stop, and then stops 20 feet, 15 feet after the marker on the third stop.
It kind of changes the flow of the look of the pattern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm not a judge, but sitting in the stands, in my mind, okay, if you're going to do it the first time, you better do it every time. I don't care if you stop 20 feet after the marker.
Right.
Do it every time.
Yeah.
Whatever you do.
I think it's more context of the run for me, though. I mean, if they're not struggling to get there, I don't even think it should come into account.
But why would you do it different?
Maybe you're finding fresh ground. Maybe you thought that ground was good, but you found this spot better.
And we don't have a rule against it. There's no rule against
Right.
it, but I think the flow of the pattern, you just,
And it goes to your pattern placement.
yeah, it kind of goes to your pattern placement. Like, you just went long and it was beautiful. Now, did you chicken out on just a little bit on me? I mean,
Yeah,
if
right.
it was still a plus half, I'm still going to say
Do
plus
you-
half, but
Right.
Do you think that horses run and stop too long now? Do you think they run too long now?
I think sometimes you guys,
We use it to our advantage too.
right.
Yeah.
And when you get too close to that wall, I just say -half because now you're schooling. You flat out told me you're schooling. You
No,
flat
but
out
even
said
if
that
even if
separate.
you're not schooling, like let's say you're pattern 6 in Tulsa, the pattern calls for you to stop after the middle marker, and you don't even say whoa till you're past the end marker.
I think if it looks like you're not trying to school your horse, if you're truly showing, yeah, that's fine. And I think we realized too that you got a few more horse shows you got to do, and then you got to
Right.
get to Oklahoma City
Right.
Yeah.
for sure. But a lot of times, sometimes guys will come into those novice classes or something. They think they're going to try to win a bronze. They stop at the fence. Well, they took every degree of difficulty out
for
of it
sure.
at that point.
Right.
Every horse stops good in front of the fence.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me watching, and again, I'm not a judge and don't know what's talked about in the judges' schools, but to me, for pattern placement, it's not appealing to see somebody go long and then short and then medium. Like, I want to see it all kind of
Fluff.
be the same.
Yeah. Symmetrical, if that's I
Right.
don't know if that's the right word I'm looking
Right.
for.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about people getting mad at you stewarding. How many phone calls have you gotten from trainers who didn't, or people who didn't like how you judged them?
I guess not very many. A few maybe with questions on why I did what I did. Some. There was one guy in particular. A lot of people, when I'm stewarding, they always want me to watch this run. Well, I can't do it then. I won't watch it. I'll watch it next week when the show's over with. But I'm not going to watch it to try to murder the judges. I'm going to watch it
Right.
and be like, well, I think here's why they zeroed that stop because of blah, blah, blah. But one guy, here, watch this run. I said, no, can't do it here. I was stewarding. And I said, but if you want to send it to me next week. He sent me 5 runs, not just of him, of other people he said he had questions about, and was very professional about the whole thing. Took it all in. So, I mean, it was a good thing. It was a positive thing.
Yeah.
I've had a few.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, I just had a few that disagreed. Listen, when it comes to that horse show that we judged in North Carolina, where I was the low guy, you were wrong. I was right. Okay, the other 4 judges, they were wrong.
That's what I told myself all the way home then.
How about you, Joe? You ever had anybody?
Nothing.
We always get questions.
Nothing official, but I had some lady go, "Yeah, you didn't like a lot of stuff yesterday," and I kind of went, "Yeah, I saw a lot of crap." Probably shouldn't have said that, but it was. I think I said, "Yeah, I saw a lot of crap, saw a lot of junk."
You'll hear people when they come out of the arena, well, that judge didn't like me. No, that judge doesn't know you to know whether he or she likes you or not. You didn't fulfill the stuff that makes them check their boxes to go higher on you.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. We root for everybody out there. Everybody thinks we're trying to chop somebody's head off. We're not.
Yeah.
Well, to be clear, when I show, I just go up the highest score, and then I'm mad at everybody
else.
You love the high guy, don't you?
Yeah, see, Tom called me after we judged out there. You go, you liked my mare, didn't you? Yeah, I liked your mare. I told you I liked that mare all the time.
Had a boy. Those other sumbitches did not know what they were looking at, Gunny.
So should I show her at the NRBC? Thank God he made the finals on her at the NRBC. Because yes, you should show her. That mare's nice. Oh yeah.
Sometimes too, I've said this before, is you run down there, you stop, and it was a +1 stop, without a doubt. But it did not have a +1 rollback.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to give you half. And they say, well, I looked at the video, and that was a +1 stop all day. I took my phone to Gunny, showed it to him. He said +1 stop all day. I took it to Joe. He said +1 stop all day. What about that rollback? Did they look at that rollback? Oh, did they talk about the rollback at all? Oh, no, they just watched the stop.
I mean, it's not just that, though, too. Sometimes in that position, the person they're talking to is not going to be the jackass that we are going to be.
Right.
They're gonna just like, oh yeah,
Yep.
good job, you're
Yeah.
right. You
Looks
know,
good.
I'm on your team, rather than just telling you like it is.
Yeah,
you know?
especially depending on how long it is after their run, you know,
Yeah.
how hot they are.
Yeah,
You know, you don't
Yeah.
want to be too honest all the time.
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, for the most part, the judges. Every time I've judged, I've been sitting there trying to mark everybody a 76. I'm not trying to mark them 66s. I'm sitting there going, come on, come on, come on, come on, Mandy. That
Yep.
you know that slow down is bullshit. What are you what are you doing? What are you doing right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You're
then-
leaning in your outside stirrup. That thing's about to fall out of lead.
For the most part, I mean, we are all on their team, and if we end up with a score of 225 and I mark somebody a 74, I am mad at myself going, gosh dang it, I knew
Should've
I
given
should have
more.
marked it higher.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they were wrong. I want to mark them more.
Yeah.
Sure you do too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're always on. We try to be on a team. Sometimes mistakes happen. Sometimes we.
And sometimes you
Miss.
just don't like their horse. I mean, somebody was mad at me after how I judged an event, and they came up and made me talk to them about it, and they asked me, well, has nothing to do with you. I just don't like your horse at all. I'm sorry.
And I don't think that can be avoided. I mean, you're a judge.
I'm
I
supposed
mean,
to
that's
judge
your
the
judge.
horse.
It's your job is to be judgy. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Mhm.
how it is. If you don't like it, and I think there's so many things that can be, you know, if it's pin-eared, if it's, I know you're not supposed to differentiate if it's a little bit higher headed or a little bit lower headed, but if it's pin-eared and doing this with the bridle and so it doesn't move good, whatever, there's a lot of things you can not like about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And some horses just plain do not have the dynamics to do +1 maneuvers.
Right.
Right.
And then you, as a trainer, if you say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put it in a class where I have to have at least one of my maneuvers +1 to make it back or whatever, or get a check. I think that's just managing your livestock too.
Yeah, for sure.
This horse doesn't have the dynamics to do +1. Let's +half him to death.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus half and to death sometimes is not enough for the level 4. Sometimes it is. But in the, you know, like for the majority, I would say 90% of everybody's in the level 3 or lower. And that just bam, 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 bam. And sometimes, like I tell everybody that works for me, get the things solid that are the transitional things. Get the rollback solid. Get your lope departure solid. Get your lead changes solid. Because at the end of the day, sometimes what doesn't look like a no-brainer +half in the practice pen is a no-brainer +half when you're showing, if everything flows and is solid.
Well, then that goes back to this. If you hit the middle of the arena, if your horse isn't being great, I don't know your horse as a judge. Maybe I think he's being just fine. But you hit the center of the arena,
Yeah.
I might be like, yeah, looks good to me.
We have no idea if he can slow down better.
Right.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
He either slowed down pretty good enough, hit the middle and looks pleasing.
Yes. When you don't hit the middle or you cut those corners off right there, like I say, you just separated yourself
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the worst.
in a downward way.
As a judge, when you see someone miss the middle 3 times and they're running around there
The
and they're
crowd,
slowing
their
down,
family's
everybody's going
screaming, their
crazy, and you're
trainer's
just
screaming.
like, dude, you
And-
just
and
had
you're
You want to
down
put
there.
a note on there because you're like, I know they're not
Yes.
going to understand
No.
why they got a -half that day on
Right.
that circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like for the most part, you're better off being clean and letting the judge have an opportunity to mark you.
Yeah.
I did this at the Congress last year in the finals. I was running as pattern 5. I was good the first way circling and turning. The second way circling, if you're not from Ohio, you don't get a lot of feedback from the grandstands in Ohio. So as I'm loping around there, my it's pattern 5, 2 large, fast, small, slow. About halfway through my second large fast, I'm like, man, I got to go harder because I'm not. Mandy's whistling for me, but you know,
No one
she's
else
pretty
is.
supportive all the time. I mean, if I really suck and if I don't hear her, I know that it's like I might as well just pull up. But But she was with some, but I wouldn't. So I pushed just this much more than my mare was comfortable doing, and she stepped out of lead. And then I take myself completely out of the reining, and then you go back and watch the video. Is no brainer half. If I do the same thing I did the first way, it's a no brainer half, and I'm still in the game. Why? Why did I? I let somebody else determine how I showed that horse, and that's not generally what I do, or not generally what anybody should do.
Yeah, exactly. Dance with the one you brung, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, for sure. And just make that. That's what I see a lot of, is just bad pattern placement. And I'm like, man, just a tweak, and you'd have a whole different outcome of today.
Yeah.
I mean, not with you guys. You guys nail it. It's trying to decide whether you had the +1 or not, or
Right.
+1.5. I mean, but on that
It is,
beginner level
yeah.
stuff, you don't have to have an expensive horse to get a 0 circle.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to say, well, Van, I didn't pay $75,000 for this gelding. I'll never get a +1. No, you can easily make me say 0. And if you just sprinkle a little sauce on it, you're going to get a +1/2 out of me if you happen to be just a little bit better than the
Right.
field.
And a lot of 0s in those classes win checks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And a lot of 0s in those classes can turn into +1/2 if
Yeah.
you separate yourself just a little bit from the next one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where I think those shows, those lower level classes, the people just don't know the rules and don't know what we're looking for, and don't
Right.
realize the pattern placement is so important.
Right.
And then they get all mad because they don't understand from the score sheets of, why is it a -1/2? I was going fast,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they just have no idea of the rules.
Yeah. That's one thing. If I was going to give advice to anybody that was brand new in the sport, when you're not showing, walk up in the stands and watch the go around of whatever event you're at of the open riders, and see the precision and the timing and the weight and the patience and the pattern placement and all those things that help you get
Yeah. And then
Good
dial
score.
it down to your skill set and your
Yeah.
horse's skill set.
100%.
I remember 3 or 4 years ago, I brought 2 of my rookies' horses down to Waco to go show them at one of the smaller shows there, just because I'd been trying to teach these ladies how to show their horse, and I said, you know what? Just enter me in the open, and I'll show you how to do it. I marked a 73.5 and a 74 on both of those horses. And I didn't do it by going faster or by being more aggressive. I did it by being smart and cute and sweet. And they both said, wow, you really don't have to go that fast to mark a good score. No, you just have to not give the judge an excuse to say -1/2. I didn't. I put it on his plate by putting my hand forward, leaving him alone, making it pleasant. I put the judge in a tough spot every maneuver to say 0 or +1/2. I never tried so hard to make him go, oop, there was a mistake, -1/2. It's easy to see that. I was all positive. So I don't know. To me, it's so much easier for a judge to see a problem that you go, nope, don't like it. But if it's on the fence and kind of cute looking, they're on your team most of the time.
Yeah. I mean, and hey, Kelly Smith almost won $1 million not going fast.
Right. Yeah. Clean.
She would be a $1
sold
million
it.
rider. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. Made it
She
pretty.
sold it.
Yeah. No doubt.
Hmm.
Well, boys,
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
great.
I'm
Thanks
not
for
going to
coming.
sleep
Oh,
now because
Cena's
you
got a
guys
question. Hold on.
made me drink one of these rings.
I was gonna ask, for the pattern placement, how long do you like to see someone standing in the middle, like hesitating in the middle between maneuvers? Because some people, like, they turn and then like for us, we sit in our stands all day videoing or taking pictures of people, and like they're barely done with their first turn and they're already gone into their second turn. And then there's people standing in the middle for 30 seconds and you're like, come on, start turning.
Yeah, I don't think that I think the ones that wait a little longer are showing confidence, and the longevity of the animal too. It's like you said about can I walk into a departure? Yeah, you're going to show that horse about 3 times, and you won't be walking into a departure
Right.
if you don't.
I think it's context of the run.
Yes.
I think if they're clearly struggling to stand still or nervous about how the next turn is going to start and they turn, you're not as positive. And also, if the shoe's on the other foot, if they're standing there so long that it breaks up the flow of it, you're kind of getting less interested too. I think it's got to be
Maybe if you're standing there that long, you kind of need to show
Get
something good
Yeah.
too, you know?
Well, just like you said, you're going, what? Come on, go. We're
Yeah.
doing the same thing. I'm like, come on. Got another 100 of you guys to watch.
Yeah.
Let's go. You know,
I mean, the run that pops into my head was when Marco Riccata showed Hollywood's Tinseltown. He took a long time in between every maneuver and just stood there. Big arena, he was just letting that horse catch his air. It didn't bother me at all, but I did hear somebody say, gosh, he waits there a long time. It's kind of breaking up the flow of it, but to me, it didn't bother me.
Yeah.
I think it was part of his approach to how to show that horse, save as much air as he could. But Bill Horn used to go wham, wham. He used to overspin both ways and shut it off and flip it back, and it was crowd goes crazy. It was showmanship.
Yeah, you didn't know he overspun.
Yeah, it
when
was
he
It was showmanship.
Yeah.
So
100%.
it's all a context, in my opinion.
But it's a lot more. What we've talked about this the whole night. Nothing's tight. They stand still. Their top line's level, and they just explode and give you a +1.5. And it's like, holy crap, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Sean or Casey will go in there and go bang, bang and take off, and it doesn't look like they're using up their horse or,
Right.
Frying them or anything. So what about the super
Video,
slide?
we're talking about super slide now. What about, were we supposed to talk about it? Am I supposed to talk about myself, about how good I was at the
It was
super
pretty
slide?
good.
Huh?
You're third place, right? Won
Third
$6 grand.
place. Oh yeah. $6,000.
Nice.
The announcer brought up our podcast, made everybody in the stand say, grow the show. It was cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. Pointing to the sky. Casey was one of the judges, so I looked at him went like this and said, the Lord helped me do that. And he believed me because he marked me pretty high.
It worked.
It worked.
Yeah. It's showmanship.
Showmanship, baby. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Van.
Thanks
That's fun.
thanks to Ranch Fuel. Good sponsors. We got to have these good sponsors. Get my new
I drank one. Now I'll be up all night. I ain't gonna sleep with this shit now.
tomorrow. I go get to pick up my new Cimarron trailer that I got from Leonard
You
Truck
ain't
and
picking
Trailer.
up your Cimarron trailer. When's the last time you drove a truck and a trailer?
So I said we. I didn't say me.
No, you said tomorrow I'm going to pick up
you
my
said
new
I'm.
I did.
You said
Cimarron trailer.
I'm.
Uh,
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm gonna
you're
get somebody
sending- you're
to go
sending
pick up
someone.
wait a minute. Let me back up a step. When was the last time you drove a truck, not with a trailer attached?
Oh.
Good 6-7 years ago?
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Good 6-7 years ago.
tough
No,
one.
maybe sooner. You might have borrowed my truck to drive yourself home in the last 5 years. And truck and a trailer. I would love to know when the last time.
It's
It
been a
is
minute.
July 29th, 2025. I want to know the last time Tom McCutcheon drove a truck and a trailer.
Oh boy.
Did you drive up to the World Show when you were second on Old Bullseye?
I don't know. Nah, that was the bus.
That was the bus.
That's the bus.
Yeah.
Flew off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just
It flew off into the cement
just-
barrier.
it just separated blue. He didn't hit nothing.
Yeah. No, you got me there. I don't know. I actually don't know when the last time I drove a truck.
So
and trailer.
tomorrow's going to be this big. You want me to come help you? I'm going to show you how to do it again.
No, I remember.
Okay.
Believe me. I can remember all the trips to the Congress and all the trips to the North Central Fraternity and all. Mandy and I, the first several times after we were married, went to the North Central Fraternity. We went by ourselves. She did all the work.
Yeah.
I know nobody's surprised about that.
You know,
Yeah.
But
whenever I worked for Tom, we drove to South Dakota to do a clinic. And I remember I drove for about 3 hours on the way home. Well, I drove for about 10 hours on the way home, but I drove about 3 hours the wrong way and I had no idea.
Nice.
Tom woke up and said, "You ready for me to drive?" "Yeah." "Where are we?" "No idea." I just kept going that way.
you drove up there by yourself. You were supposed to drive home by yourself. I had a plane ticket and I was ready to get the heck out of South Dakota.
Yeah.
Love South Dakota.
Yeah.
It was cold. It was
we had a great
cold
time at
as
the
shit.
casino.
I can't remember being any colder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got in the truck and helped you drive.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it might have been
probably
last
so.
time. All right.
Cool.
What do you get to say, Gunny?
Grow the show.